What's up, guys? Thursday night, NNR Cup Series night. Right back here, Phoenix International Raceway. As always, the one and only Expert Racing live in the booth with me. Hope y'all are doing very, very well. It's gonna be a phenomenal race. The guys are done with their other connection test, getting done with qualifying right now. Gonna find out who's gonna be on that coveted pole for the first race of this 6-race postseason playoffs, whatever you want to call it. Vols, buddy, thank you very much for the gifted subs. Abulia Savant, Hoops Coach, man, definitely appreciate it. Vols, you're one in a million, buddy. Brandon, what's happening? As well as Mama Vols out there in chat. Good to see y'all. We're gonna kick this off with of course, our anthem, and then we're gonna be right back to talk some points. And we're gonna kick this off. So we will be right back. Keep it right here. Please stand, remove those hats. Here we go.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land under the frame, and the home of the brave,
Big thank you to the one and only Madison Rising for allowing NNR to use their version of the national anthem at the start of every single one of these races. I choose to keep it for the Cup guys, little something special, but big thanks. Also, big thank you to the Raise Energy, the one and only sponsor of this channel. Absolutely appreciate them. You need any kind of a refresher out there, zero sugar, zero carbs, zero crash. Look them up, repsports.com. At the end of your order, put in promo code REPEAT1975 for an immediate 15% off. I promise you will not be sorry. Now, talking about these points here right quick, buddy, I tell you, it's tight. It's really tight in the Xfinity Series. A little bit more of a gap here with CGMX Rose over the rest of the field. Him, Lucky Dog, Stout Whiskey. 24, 34, 34 back to a more smoke. So those guys have kind of an immediate shot if Rose should have any kind of a rough race. Who do you got tonight? How big of a swing do you think we'll see in some of these points? And how you doing? Hey, expert, you got me?
Sorry about that. Just realized the mic was muted, but I mean, I'm definitely happy to be up here in the booth with you this evening. Happy to see these Cup guys try to go and tackle Phoenix. But you were talking about all the guys that could possibly go out here and win and how much points are a factor, of course, being in the playoffs now. There's a lot of guys out here. Lucky Dog, Rose, like you mentioned. One guy I'm looking at, though, been a friend of mine for a really long time, a guy that I'm definitely going to be pulling for. Honestly, you're bad. He was actually one of the guys that I originally started practicing with here at Phoenix and was one of the guys that me and him both got good here together and had a lot of great battles. So he's going to be somebody to look out for. And, of course, we got good old Stout Whiskey in the field. He's going to be an onboard tonight as well.
Yeah, Stout Whiskey will be an onboard. So will the Aviator. So we'll have a couple of great, great vantage points for laps, for fuel. Also, going to be watching those tires all night long. That's been a factor all week long. Got just between 15 and 20 cars that are going to be on track. Sending you your invite right now, but as you're still kind of keeping up with with that beautiful Fanatec equipment that all the pro leaguers got during Pro League Season 2, there is your invite as we're getting loaded in. Man, it's going to be another great night. It's going to be all about. Oh man, I think it's going to be all about tire conservation again. Both the truck race that I almost said Watt Racing Bowling one, as well as last night was all about those tires. When we asked Q-Dog, what were your tires like when it was all said and done? He goes, buddy, they were red. They were blistered red. So man, those are your points. Again, there's those 12 drivers plus 5 more that are going to be out here vying for every single point they can get. So let's go through the field. As always, on the pole, it's going to be that 13 Geico Camaro of Lucky Dog 385, the 95 of Jose 95, 42 of CGMX Rose with the 37 of Honestly You're Bad. There's your buddy starting P4. 36 of the one and only Boehner in that Select Blinds Ford Mustang. 38 of Fatless D. Good to see him with a great qualifying effort. One of our onboards, 2-car Stout Whiskey. The 48 of the Aviator, our second onboard. So they're going to be starting side by side about row 5. Then we got the 41 of the one and only Dan the Lawn Man. 21 of my Silent Hunter, all Parzival out there. Then we got the 16 of NNR Trip with the 4-car of Natty Dread. Then we got the 18 of Rowdy. Been turning a lot of laps on iRacing. Have to see how he does tonight. 8-car Fort Smitty, they're going green. We're going to go through this real quick. 22 of J-Pa, 47 of Augustus, 9-car of More Smoke, 12-car of Knights, and we're back up front. 13 stretching it out. Expert, what you got?
And these 3 guys up front, the 13, 95, and 42, all lined up 1, 2, 3. This ain't the first time we've seen this season. But off of turn 4, that 13 is going to be able to lead lap number 1. These guys, of course, you know the battles are going to be furious here. We've seen it all weekend. But the big thing that has stalled a lot of guys out is letting that leader get out in the clean air. That's something these guys cannot allow. As these guys, some behind them, overdrive in the corner, you can already see the gap that's building between this top four, with it being the 13, 95, 42, and the 37, rounding out this pack of four trying to pull away.
Yeah, 48 of the Aviator, he's giving a big old tug to the car. I believe that's going to be a 38 of Fatless Dig right in his rear view. Yeah, it is. I'll tell you what, if you're going to follow anybody around here, keep an eye on the line, keep an eye on the wear, see exactly when he's braking, when he's getting back on the gas. Probably, you couldn't do much better, than that 48. Vols fan out there, definitely appreciate you sharing the RaiseEnergy.com site, as well as promo code REPEAT1975 for that 15% off of your order, and then sharing, I should say, 16 bits in support of Car 16, that fraternal order of Eagle Camaro for the one and only NNR trip. Still going through the field. They're 2 and 3 wide, a little bit further in the back.
And you're exactly right. These guys in the back, Stout Whiskey nearly going 3 wide there for a second. The 36 of Boehner, the 4 of Natty Dread. A little bit of contact back here between these guys. But these guys trying to make it through. You can see on Stout's onboard as he looks ahead, you can see pretty much his J-Paul Militia teammate up there, the 41 of Dan the Lawn Man. Stout trying to find a way to get around this 36 and 4. He keeps sticking his nose there on the bottom, but just can't seem to find the run. Now he's going to get it off exit, but a little bit of contact is going to stall him out once again. The 4 is going to be able to get the run. Now the 16 is going to be passing him 3 wide over the top. He's going to clear for the position, but the 2 and 36 still side by side. The question is, how long will this battle last, and will these guys try to get back in line to conserve those tires?
Man, I tell you what, you better race it out while you can. Last I saw from on board with the Aviator, since you were watching Stout Whiskey, it said just about 35 to go. Let's see, as he comes across the start stripe this time, 32 to go. I'm sorry. Yeah, 32 to go. So these guys absolutely clicking them off as quick as they can. As always, 2 times wear, 2 times fuel. And, man, it will be all about these tires. So get it while it's good. They should be able to pit right in the middle for those tires, or at least do something with them in order to maybe break up the monotony. Try to do something different than your competition. Still riding on board with that 16. Vols want to know where he's at. Well, here he is, kind of mid to late pack. In front of the 4 car Natty Dread and the 2 of Stout Whiskey, right behind the 41 of Dan the Lawn Man, and then you see the 21 of Parsival just a little bit further up.
Looking on board now, pass to get inside the top 3. The guy I've been keeping an eye on, the 37 of Honestly Your Bad, just past Rose, our current points leader now. He's going to move into P number 3 and try to chase down the 95 of Jose.
Boy, you could almost tell the 37 completely locked him up, or just maybe he meant to get on a brake softly, but absolutely slid that right front. And 42 saw that, probably checked up just a little bit more than he might have wanted to, and that allowed the 48 of the Aviator in those Ally colors close up on the rear bumper of that Credit 1 Camaro. 2 very, very competitive, fierce drivers out here on track. They've been amongst the title fight together for the last several years. The car in front, 9 Carbon More Smoke, he was there last year. So the only car that you're missing right now is the 36 of Boehner. That was part of that fight. He's a little bit further back. But man, we say it every time, man. Cream rises to the top.
You're exactly right. And talk about the guy that's been on top for the past couple of weeks. If it hasn't been Rose, it's been this 13. He's currently still in P number 1, looking to try to spread the gap to the 95 behind him. These guys really haven't gained time, but they haven't really lost time to each other either. So it's a big question on these guys are running at a similar pace. What does that mean for later in the run? Who's going to have the long run? Who's going to have the short run? We've noticed at times we've seen the 42 come on strong later in the runs and the 13 kind of lose the car a little bit. The question is, will that change here at Phoenix, or will the 13 still have the same luck?
Well, I'll tell you what, in stage one, you're probably going to want to run it out as much as you can. So far, the 48 of the Aviator, he hasn't messed with any of his other menus. He's pretty much just keeping the track count up and whatnot. And just, of course, just as I say that, maybe he's listening. He's switched it over to his tires. He's looking at mid-60s on his right sides, mid to high 70s on his lefts with 23 laps to go. I would imagine that they could all maybe make it on gas, but I highly doubt they'll be able to make it on tire. We've seen all week long just how quickly the tires get shredded, and man, you either gotta back up your pace to make them last, or you go all out, maybe hope for a caution. But then again, we all know NNR is not all that well known for having a mass or several cautions in a row. K9 Media, good to see you. Thanks for coming on out. Hola to you too.
Right here now, battle for second place. The 37 looking inside the 95 as he tries to take a charge to the lead. And I told you in pre-race, this is one guy, similar to Vols fan, one guy that I've been able to grow up racing here with. Me and Vols have known each other for a while, racing together, had some rivalries, and this guy is no different. Honestly, you're bad sitting right here in the 37. He has really developed over the past season. We've seen him become more prominent and being involved in battles up front. He even showed out at New Hampshire, showing he had a top 5 right there. And now coming here, him racing up there with the 95 of Jose and the 42 of CGMX Rose, he's really showing what type of driver he can be here in the NNR series, and expect that to carry over in the rest of these playoff races.
Well, a lot of people have said, and it's not just me, if you come here to NNR, you race against the best, it's ultimately going to make you better as well. So, man, it's if that's the effect that it's had on the 37 of Honestly You're Fast, because I'm not going to call him Honestly You're Bad, man, I'm absolutely glad about that. 42 of CJMX Rose on his back bumper, the 48 of the Aviator. Not bad company at all. Everybody's still trying to track down that 13. If they could stay single file, even though it is on the lowest draft setting tonight, who knows? Maybe we'll have a challenge for the lead. But 13, man, that Geico Camaro, no. He's not going to have to submit any claims tonight, except for maybe I don't know, a trophy. We'll have to see.
Certainly have to see these guys still battling a little bit of contact. 37.95. This battle still rages on in the corner. Now it's a 4-car battle. The 48 has now interjected himself into here. The 37 is going to be able to clear for P2, but this battle is nowhere near over. Here comes the 48 of the Aviator. 42 of CGMX Rose near 3 wide behind them for third place. 95 are able to clear both lanes, trying to block both sides, but it's not going to work. 48 looking to the inside, but now he's going to be able to clear. 95 has the momentum, but here comes the 42 to the inside now. These guys 3 wide down the front straightaway. It's going to close back up once again as we head into turn 1.
Yeah, now the 42 CGMX Rose has the preferred line. 95 has been very, very good about keeping that Ream Toyota wound up on the high side. 48, the Aviator is going to try a little bit of a side draft on that left rear of the 95. Pull him back. 48 is going to move ahead. Keep all 4 tires below that yellow line. First car already has gone 1 lap down. 37's been able to gain a little bit of a gap on those other 3 because they've been battling. And look at this, he's starting to track back down this 13. He is almost there. We'll have to see if he's able to get there and steal max points from the 13. Did that car that just went a lap down slow up Lucky Dog? We'll have to see. But man, he has got some serious company and coming in a hurry.
And I think that lap car may give Lucky Dog some more trouble. He is not letting up racing these guys up front. In fact, just pulled a slide job on our leader. Now to the bumper comes the 37 onto the 13. This lap car just brought this battle to the lead much more closer. The 37 of Honestly You're Bad, he's going to look to the inside now. Looking at the quarter panel of the 13, he's going to try to use the dog leg to get a little momentum. Side by side down into 1 and 2. He's going to give them a tap. He's going to send them up the track a little bit. 37 trying to get to the point. He has to let off though. 42 now looking to interject himself into this battle. 37 is going to be able to clear high, and once again, he's going to have to reset and reload for another attempt as that 13 clears off for P number 1 once again.
We saw the 37 of Honestly You're Fast do kind of the same thing when trying to get by the 95 of Jose. He held back a little bit, cooled off his tires for a quick lap or two. Now with 12 laps to go, he's got enough time to go ahead and reset and just stay right there with the 13. See exactly where he might be vulnerable, where he's letting up, where he's getting back on the throttle. Maybe try something just a little bit different. If you can use your stuff up just a little bit more and still maintain, we might be able to see, maybe a new leader for the first time. 37 though, still all over the back end of this Geico number 13 Camaro. Lucky Dog has not let up since the race started, but man, he hasn't had this much pressure on his car all race. And yeah, this is still only stage number 1.
Yes, it shows the type of battles we can expect later on. That 8 really put more pressure on that 13 to be able to perform as we wind down the laps here. With now 10 laps to go, now going to be under that with 9 this time by. These guys still battling it out. They know how important these stage points are. You can see the 42 now trying to make a move inside the 37 for P number 2, that 13. Seeing this battle that's going on behind him and realizing, hey, this is my chance to form that gap once again. Here comes the 48 now as well. He's going to follow the 42 with the momentum he had, and he may try to take the 42 spot as well. Instead, that bottom line is not going to work for him for the time being, but he's going to hang on. He's going to side draft to the 37, back into 3 and 4, the original 1 and 2. He's going to dive it down once again and off at turn number 4. These guys still side by side for third.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, keeping an eye on the 48 of the Aviators, you see him get on by the 37. He's only got about 23% left on his right rear, 8 laps to go. It is going to be completely iffy on whether he's actually able to make it. In just that one corner, he went from 24 down to 22. Down the backstretch, just lost another percent. Now going through the corner, he's going to drop another 2. I think we are going to see all these guys come on down pit road. Otherwise, their right rear or that right front, depending who's sliding what the most, it may actually end up popping. Will one of these guys that hasn't been pushing, will the 37 be able to get back up there? Will the 42 be able to take the lead? Man, it's completely possible. Still all kinds of pressure. The 13 keeping up there in front of the 42 of CJ Max Roads, 48 of the Aviator P3. 37 of Honestly You're Bad, 95 now, just a little bit further back than he's been all night. But man, that right rear, is it going to hang on?
And that's going to be the question. More guys now going a lap down. You got to ask, is this going to affect the battle for the lead? I hope not. But these guys still having to battle it out. The 42 is still right there. He's in striking distance of these leaders. It's not like he's far off from him at all. But these guys, you asked about that right rear, looking at the Aviator, 14% with only 5 laps to go. It's going to be close. I don't know if he can actually do it. You're losing about 1.5% a corner, looking about 3% to 4% a lap. That's the rough estimate right there for these guys on what they're going to be burning. So it's going to be a question to see, hey, what can you do? See, he lost 4% right there. At this rate, I don't think these guys can make it.
I don't either. 4 laps to go, 10% on that right rear, 19 on the right front. That's just the 48. Never mind the 13 that's had to push it, or the 42 of CJ Max Rose that's also tried to push it to keep up or maybe even take the lead. 37 of Honestly You're Bad. He's now fallen off a little bit. He's seen that right rear. He didn't want to see it pop. No sense in giving up senseless points. I think he might have even gone down pit road. Now the 48 only has 8% left. Man, as he comes up, this is like nail biting. As he comes across the line, I believe this is going to be 3 laps to go, 6% on the right rear. Let's see, at the line, 2 laps to go. So he is going to have to really, really watch that right rear. And I don't even know, expert. I just don't know. Is it worth the risk, or is it worth the gamble this early in the race to try to get it to last? One lap remaining, 13, 42, 48. Nobody in their rear view. I think the rest of the field came to their senses in pit.
I'm not too sure. We're seeing the 37 of Honestly You're Bad. He's backed off the pace a huge amount. He's led about 7 cars by, but the Aviator, he's got, 37! The tire goes flat, 4 around down into pit road. And now these guys ahead of them, it's a big question on who can make it out of turn number 4. It looks like all of them might. 48, his tire goes down right at the line, and he goes around. So these guys made it, but just barely in the 37, 12, and more guys around them, all with flat tires. So these guys are going to have to make some big adjustments and big repairs once we get down pit road.
Man, I tell you what, he came across the line. As soon as he did, the tire popped. That means going to be a little bit more time on pit road because he's going to have to repair that damage. Ladies and gents, we're going to go to nnrleague.com real quick, take a look around, and then we'll be right back. Keep it right here.
Hey NNR fans, are you looking for a way to rep your favorite NASCAR Heat preset league on Xbox Live? Look no further. Just go to nnrleague.com, scroll down to the Zazzle tab, and see what we have to offer. From t-shirts to hoodies to clocks, we have everything you need to show your support. Thanks for being the best fans, and we hope to see you at the track repping that NNR red.
All right, guys and gals, keeping it right here, racking and stacking them back up for the start of round number 2. It's not going to be too long. Hopefully something didn't just happen with the game. But yeah, stage winner is going to be the 13 of Lucky Dog with the 42 CGMX Rose P number 2. 48 of the Aviator is going to be P number 3. Looks like, okay, there we go. I really thought that there was going to be some kind of a problem. But yeah, 13 of Lucky Dog, he's going to be able to maintain that top spot. 4 car of Natty Dread to his inside. I'm going to guess he didn't pit, so we're going to see him peel off in just a moment. A little bit of lag, a little bit of instability. Cars rocking back and forth. 42 CGMX Rose, 9 car of More Smoke sitting right there in P4. And man, looks like it's going to be the 41 of Dan the Lawn Man right back there in P5 with the 2 car Stout Whiskey right now, P number 6. Yeti, Master Killer, Koei, and yeah, okay, that looks like it's about all right now. But yeah, hell of a first stage. Now, Expert, to try to get these tires to go the length of stage 2, actually, there's no possible way they're going to be able to do that. Stage 2 is 53 laps. There's just no way. Everybody, I would imagine, is going to pit right around lap 26 to 30 and come on in. Grab those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, but it should really be all about track position and trying to maintain the gap, maintain the lead, maintain your tires, and just throw fuel out the window, because I don't believe anybody can go to the end of their tank in order to get to that green flag pit stop.
Well, certainly, and you talked about the one place you want to push to stage 1 to see what you can do. This is going to be another stage in which you can push, and you don't have to worry about conserving at the end. You just need to make sure you can make it to your mark. So you can push here and try to go for those positions, try to gain that track position. The playbook is wide open for a lot of these guys to be able to do what they want as far as strategy and such, especially here in stage 2, and see if they can knock that 13 off of the P1 spot.
At 13 right now, he's got a pretty decent gap between himself, the 42 of Rose, the 9 car of a More Smoke, and then the 2 of Stout Whiskey, followed closely by the 41 of Dan the Lawman, and then a great run by the 4 car of Natty Dread. So everybody in pretty much a real long conga line down the backstretch, going through turns 3 and 4, coming to the start stripe one more time. Still in that long single file line through the dog leg, a little bit further in the back from about mid pack on. They were two and almost 3 wide, but still just like in stage 1, everybody right now chasing that 13. If you're just joining, thank you very much for coming out, hanging out, chatting it up. Definitely appreciate you keeping us company. This is the NNR Cup Series live from Phoenix International Raceway. Race number 1 of 6 for their championship run. Phoenix this week, Watkins Glen next week. Not going to want to miss it. If you haven't already, go on up, smash that follow button, keep the notifications on so you know every time NNR goes live, whether it's on the Xbox or whether it's on iRacing. If we're talking about turn down for what racing on Saturday nights or shadow racing on Sunday afternoons, you don't want to miss it. Always a great time. Thanks for being here one more time.
And you know, Pete, you were talking about NNR right there to make sure you don't miss any of the action. I went to work this morning. I ended up missing my hat. A piece of my work attire I was missing. But you know what? I'm not forgetting my work attire tonight. I'm wearing my NNR Xbox side, the console side polo shirt that I got from the exclusive NNRLeague.com, and the Zazzle tab that they have featured on there. You can get these polo shirts. You can get the fastest coffee mugs in league racing. You can get tag signs. You can get so much stuff on that Zazzle tab. And of course, go check out the new iRacing merchandise that's on there as well. Trust me, you do not want to miss any of it. And of course, with us being in the playoffs, you definitely want to keep track of your favorite drivers' points. It's on there as well. It's all going to be on NNRLeague.com.
That's right. Talking about those driver points, that we had them up on screen earlier. You know, we talk about Lucky Dog being in the lead and really just pulling away, having a great race. And we saw, you know, CJ Rose. We saw the 9 of Amore. We saw the 48 of the Aviator. 2 cars, Stout Whiskey. In case you missed it at the beginning of the race, here are your point standings one more time. CJ Rose, he had, if we were just going by season points, he had over 150 points between him and second place Stout Whiskey. Now it's just 24 points back to Lucky Dog. Obviously, Lucky Dog, he won stage 1. He's going to cut into that just a little bit. Stout Whiskey now inside the top 5. He's going to do all right. He's ahead of Amore Smoke, but not by much. Aviator's also right up in the mix. The 18 of Rowdy's a little bit further back. The 8 car Fort Smitty. But yeah, these are the points as they sat before the race started tonight. It's going to be interesting to see on NNRLeague.com where they all sit when we get to Watkins Glen next week.
And this just shows with the amount of talented drivers we have just looking through these list of guys, it's going to be a very interesting playoff race for a lot of these guys. And the lucky thing for the Cup Series, and we've seen it throughout the weekend, there's a lot of notable guys that aren't on that list that's racing in the playoffs, but they still come out here to put on a show for these guys. And I mean, and all the fans that we have out here watching as well. These guys really coming out here, showing their support for NNR, showing how good of a community this is and how great of a league this is as well. They know that, hey, I don't have a shot to win a title right now. I'm out of the playoffs, you know, it's not going to happen. But hey, I can still set myself up well for next season. I can go out here and win a few races and try to gain a little bit more of it, more experience to make sure I'm back here next year. And I think that's what these guys are doing. They are all showing out, hoping to solidify a spot next season.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a phenomenal season up to this point, but they're just getting ramped up. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Just watching a battle right here between the 9 Universe Camaro of Amore Smoke, the 2 of Stout Whiskey, and the 41 of Dan the Lawman. This is for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Going back to the 48 of the Aviator, 42 of CJ Rose. Big gap between himself and the 9, but there's also a big gap between the 42 and the 13. But so far, those top 2 have kind of pulled away just a little bit, leaving this pack of 4 right back here. It looked like the 47 of Augustus and the 4 car Natty Dread fighting it out just a little bit further behind these guys. But man, it has been a phenomenal season. And what you mentioned about everybody coming out and racing and doing their thing here to complete the season. Stout Whiskey gave a little bit of a speech before the start of the race saying, hey man, definitely appreciate everybody coming on out, whether you have a shot at the title or not, whether you feel like you're out of it because you're 47 points behind them. CGMX Rose, keep on coming. He said that he's always been a fan of if you start something, finish it. Well, man, Stout, he's been here just about every single week, and he's sitting, P3 in the points because of that. Not only that, having a win on the season, being very, very meticulous in his preparation, and just being overall steadfast in everything, the way that he does, and the way he prepares for his races every Thursday night.
Right here, I'm paying attention to a battle back in the pack here, Pete. The four who started with the lead at the beginning of this stage as he got forced down pit road towards the end of the last one. He's now in a battle with the 21 of Parzival. Sorry if I butchered that, by the way. But these guys going at it now into turn one, still side by side as they dive it down into turn number one. It looks like that 21 made clearing, but that 4 is looking to try to make a power move to the outside. Instead, no, he tries to cross him over, but it'll tuck right back in. 21 gains a position right there.
Yeah, 21 of Parzival, man. This guy had an amazing season last year in the Xfinity Series. He was in the top 3. It seemed like he was in the top 3 every single week. And then into the postseason, he said, "Man, Pete, I just don't know if I've got what it takes to go ahead and try for this championship." And then he went on and won Michigan, and any doubt that he had was just gone. And he worked his way into the Cup Series. I think he's sitting P7 or P8 in the championship standing. So. Great season for Parzival. Like to see him continue on. He's one hell of a driver. He's guys that you don't hear a lot out of. People don't really complain about him either. He respects who he's racing against. He takes care of him out there on track as well. Man, the guy's very, very consistent, which is the other word I was thinking about when I was talking about Stout Whiskey just a little bit ago.
And speaking of Stout Whiskey, I mean, looking on his onboard right now, he's all over the back bumper of the 9 of a more smoke. He's trying to get his way into the top 3 here as we cross the line for 31 laps remaining in stage number 2. These guys are nearing that pit cycle that we talked about. You can expect these guys to start coming in, I'd say around lap 27 to 28 is when the pit cycle is open to start to, in my opinion, make it and be able to have the tires to make it to the end. So that is where we're going to be looking at for these guys as we now reach 30 laps to go. So watch when we hit about lap 28, expect some guys to come in starting around there till about, I'd say, lap 34, 35, somewhere in there. So a pit cycle is just a few short laps away.
I would imagine you're probably right. We were kind of keeping an eye on the 48 of the Aviator and his right side tires. Right now, he is wearing just about even with mid 20 laps to go. He's sitting 33 on the right front, 32 on the right front, 31 on the right rear. So it looks like when his right rear popped right at the end of stage number 1, he made some pretty good adjustments that now has the right side wearing pretty evenly. He's sitting in P number 5 at 28 laps to go. Looks like the 22 of J-Pie, he's been able to catch up to the 21 of Parzival as he brings that Motorcraft Ford Mustang down pit road, and now the Shell Pennzoil Ford Mustang, he was able to get on by the 4-car Natty Dread as well, cutting the dog leg, going to complete one more lap 22 looks like he paid attention all week. He was in the chat for the truck race. He was obviously in the chat for the Xfinity race last night that the one and only Q Dog won. So J-Pie, he's been there. He's listened to us for everything that we've had to say about the tire wear, the different strategies that we've seen win both kinds of races. And Expert, one thing that was the exact same between both: tire wear.
You're exactly right. I mean, I've had to change up my favorite phrase for this week. Instead of fuel saving, it's been all about tire saving, and that's been the big key for these guys that put it in victory lane. Heck, last night we saw a shocker as Q-Dog was able to save enough, and he made his way to victory lane. It had been a while for him. He had a kind of a bad run in the nearing to the playoffs, and that just restarted him, reinvigorated him to try to go after that title. He has set himself up pretty well, and I imagine there's a lot of drivers out here tonight that want to do the same.
I would imagine so. I gotta give a quick note though right now. 24 laps remaining. Aviator's now up to P number 3. He still has just under 20% on that right rear. We just saw the 21 of Parsable come down pit road. We saw the 9 of Amore Smoke come on down pit road, as well as the 22 of J-Pop. So looks like different levels of wear on the different drivers because of their differing setups. Either that, or they're coming on down, maybe getting a little loose, come out with those brand new Eagle Feel Goods. You shouldn't have to take a full tank of gas, as we see someone go across the track right in front of the 48 as he slows it up and woes it up, gets on the binder. 48's now on pit road for his turn. No caution for that guy that went across the track. 23 laps remaining, and he'll have just about 29 laps of fuel. They should be able to go the rest of the way on tires. When stage 2 started, I believe it kicked off with just about 54 laps. So they should be good on whatever they get right here. But stage 3 is going to be the real question on who's going to be able to conserve what they need to make it to the end. Silent, what's happening, buddy? Good to see you. I saw that you tried to call me yesterday. I missed you, but man, definitely appreciate you for coming on out and hanging out with everybody.
And right here to give an update, that car that spun, he's now out of the race. It's Fort Smitty, and that number 8 Camaro, he's going to be out of the race right here. He's sitting in his pit box, and yeah, it looks like, unfortunately, it's going to be the end of his day here in Phoenix.
Yeah, Fort Smitty, he was sitting about P9, I want to say, in the points, give or take maybe a spot or two, but now riding along with the 2 car, that Deuce of Stout Whiskey. Guy's got a win on the season, very, very strong on the short tracks, got it done at Auto Club in a fantastic finish with the 42 of CGMX Rose. Stout, in his post-race interview, said, you know what, I just got tired of the way the 42 was bumping and rubbing and pushing me around. I doored him, sent him down into the grass, and I took that W. He also, if you go back a little bit earlier in the season to Kansas, Stout Whiskey came to the start stripe before the 42 arose, and he should have won that. He was clearly ahead, but for some reason the game gave that win to Rose. Yet another example of these fantastic Heat 5 servers. But very, very spread out now, Expert, after a green flag pit stop, which is what we normally see.
And right here, I just want to give a quick shout out to the guy who just led a lap now. The 18 NNR Rowdy, he leads his first lap here today at Phoenix, of course, off of a pit cycle, but he's going to go and lead his first lap here as he still makes his way around the track. More guys are trying to unlap themselves, though, and try to get around him. You see him now yielding to the 41 and 37 right here in 3 and 4 as he crosses the stripe one more time.
I'm gonna really guess that the 8. I got that feedback in my headset again, but I'm gonna guess that the 18 of Rowdy stayed out a little bit longer. But I don't know why he would. I would imagine that he'd come on down unless maybe he heard Fort Smitty having an issue, thinking that the caution was going to come out, and then couldn't quite get into the pits. We saw the 48 and a few others passing him, and that could have been the cause for that. Wasn't able to work his way down pit road, but now he's going to go ahead and bring that M&M's Toyota Camry to his pit stop, grab those Eagle Feel Goods, bring it on back out. He will have the freshest tires for the longest part of for the rest of the stage. So maybe he can make up some points. We'll have to see. But it looks like right now our current leader is actually going to be the 42 of CJMX Rose, trying to catch up with him right now, see where he is compared to the 13 of Lucky Dog. And there you see Lucky. Lucky's about 3 spots back. You got the... Is that the 30? Who is that? Yep, that's going to be the 38 of Fatless Dig, as well as the 12 of Knights. So I think the 38 and the 12 may have just gone a lap down. So what kind of havoc will they cause on the 13 as he's trying to catch back up? 15 laps to go here, stage 2.
And this is the battle that we have seen almost all year to this point. 13, 42, these guys racing it out with each other. And now the 13 looking to get past the 12 here as he's got a stage to go after. Diving it down here, you can see he's going to pull off the corner and now set his sights on the 42. And Pete, I would not take that camera off of this lead battle. It is getting down to the wire, and it's about to get a little bit interesting.
Oh yeah, 42. He's now got that Geico Gecko just filling up his rear view mirror. This Credit One Camaro in the lead. 13 ducking down low. He doesn't have a duck on the hood of that thing. He's got a lizard, so trying to slither his way back into P number 1. But CJMX Rose was able to block that line, keep the lead. Both of them underneath the yellow, going through the corner, coming on back, going to try to cut that dog leg. 42 CJMX Rose way down low, able to keep the lead, but can he get a great entrance into the corner? He cooked it. That's going to give the 13 a run. 42 to the outside, maybe try a little bit of a side draft off that right rear. Not quite there. Trying. No such luck. 13's going to have the preferred line. He will be able to take the lead going back to the start stripe. This will be the 13's time to shine, getting right back into it. New leader, resuming the lead, I should say. Lucky Dog.
And right here, all these guys, we've been looking at mainly those two. I want to take a look back at the guy sitting in third. He's a ways off this battle, but I just want to give a shout out to him real quick. The 2 of Stout Whiskey, he has done a great job putting himself in that third position, setting himself up for a great stage number 3. He's looking to hang on as guys like the 37 of Honestly You're Bad and the 48 of the Aviator sit behind him. So a lot of these guys, he still has some challenges behind him, but I think he can maintain that. If he can maintain that number 2, he'll be set up pretty well for stage number 3.
Yeah, Stout Whiskey, one of our onboards, like you said, sitting in P number 3 right now. As he crosses the line, there's exactly 9 laps left. Everybody's good to go to the end of stage 2 on their tires. I'm sure when they went down pit road, they grabbed whatever fuel they needed just to complete the stage. Nothing extra. Keep the car light. Makes you feel like Superman. That's why all those drivers, when they were putting down those fast laps, getting on the building the records for Heat 5, they were all doing it on 4 Eagle Feel Goods and like just enough fuel to complete that lap. That way they stayed fast. But yeah, Stout Whiskey getting underneath the 18 of Rowdy, and I believe that's going to be the 37 of Honestly You're Fast, trying to catch back up to the 2. 18's going to go ahead and let him go as well. He'll have more company here pretty soon. The 9 of More Smoke and the 41 of Dan the Lawn Man trying to catch back up. So while the leaders have kind of pulled away, Stout Whiskey's going to have some company here pretty soon. 37's been able to rebound since popping that tire at the end of stage 1. Not too bad.
And you're exactly right. A lot of these guys had damage coming to the end of the stage, the 37 and 48 being the two that come to mind. And great rebounds by both of these guys. 37 currently sitting in fourth. I believe the 48 now making a pass to try to get himself in the top five as he challenges the 9 of them. More smoke for P number 5. So these guys realizing every position matters and setting themselves up well for stage number 3 is going to be key here as we enter at least, I believe, just 10 laps to go.
Absolutely every
Or sorry, actually correction. I believe we're getting the lap count here. Just 5 laps to go, actually.
Yep, 5 laps remaining. Stout Whiskey just took that on his last pass of the start stripe. You know, looking back a little bit further, the 4-car Natty Dread absolutely having a great race. You got the 21 of Parswell, 22 of J-Pa, 36 of Boehner, and the 95 of Jose that started on the outside pole. I think Jose really dropped back on purpose just to save his resources. I don't think he's really showing everything that he's got right now. I think Jose's going to work his way up as the race goes on. Remember, just like we saw in the truck and Xfinity races, Q-Dog, for example, last night, he stayed back. He was in the top 5, top 8 about all night long. And when it came time, you know, when push came to shove, he was out while everybody else that was up in front of him were just wearing out their stuff. And man, he came on by to get it taken care of. A little bit of contact behind the 21 with the 20. I'm sorry, behind the 22 rather, with the 21, and I believe it's going to be the 47 of Augustus. Saw them both kind of smack that wall. I'm not quite sure if it was lag or what, but they definitely made some contact with that outside retaining wall.
You're completely right, and as these guys now cycle around, it's going to be coming to the white flag for this 13 as he's actually already going to hit the white flag. It's the last lap of stage number 2 for him. He's only got 2 more corners to go here, and he can sweep both stage 1 and stage 2. Here we go off of turn number 4. Your winner for stage number 2 in the desert, Lucky Dog.
Yeah, Lucky Dog 385 sweeping both stages so far. 42 CGMX Rose came in right where he did before. I think the Aviator might have lost a spot or 2. But Stout Whiskey in P number 4, honestly, your bad finished 3rd, Aviator 5th, and a more smoke 6th. So all the guys that are in top spots in the points going for the championship, finishing right there as well. Dan the Lawman finished 7th, Natty Dread 8th, J-Pa 9th, and Boehner in 10th. One more quick little commercial here. Let's go to NNR League. I'm sorry, you want to know how to follow NNR? Here you go.
Hey NNR fans, don't miss any of the action by following or subscribing to Repeat's Twitch channel. Turn on notifications and you'll always know when the best preset league on Xbox hits the track. Check out his YouTube channel too to see all of NNR's past races. Follow No Name Racing as well as Repeat 1975 and others on Twitter, and you'll never miss any of the action.
All right, Expert, we are stacked back up one more time for the start of Stage 3. It's going to be the 13, 37, 42. It's going to be your top 3. 2-car Stout Whiskey, 48 of the Aviator. That's going to be your top 5. Take us back green.
And here we go. The 13's going to try to clear that 37. Started up on the outside. He's going to get a bump from the 42, though. 42 returning the medicine that 37 dished out earlier when he was making passes to a few guys in stage number 1. That 37's going to get a bump, but he's going to power back with a power move to the outside. Had to steal an HD Motorsports line there for a second. Let's see if he can hold it. Diving through the dog leg. Still side by side, it looks like. That 42 trying his hardest to carry the momentum, but the 37's going to have the high line. 42 trying to make the bottom side work. While we're talking about this battle, that 13 looking to pull away. Now the 37 is going to be able to clear for P2. And once again, cue the Jaws theme. He's going to try to run down that 13.
Honestly, your bad was actually very, very fast earlier and was about the only one that was able to pull up to the back bumper of the 13. Granted, the 13 had some traffic, all around him as far as a damaged lap car, but irregardless, not too shabby. On lap 100, I believe, of 156, if I'm not mistaken. Next time the two-car Stout Whiskey that currently rides in fourth. Let's see, comes across the start stripe. We'll go ahead and see exactly what we've got here for stage 3. Yep, 56 laps. So just like in stage 2, everybody will have to come on down for at least a set of 4 brand new Eagle tires. Fill it up with just what they need to complete the rest of the stage, but that again, barring no cautions. So far, these guys have gone caution-free except for the stages. Really, really doing a great job maintaining, taking care of the guys around them. And man, if they finish up just the way that they've been going on, we're going to be in for some great battles all the way to the checkers.
Oh, and you're exactly right. And here's one fact that I don't know should scare Lucky or make him kind of happy. We saw in the truck series, the guy that won stage 1 and stage 2 sweat the stages. He also won the race. You flip the coin to the Xfinity series. The guy that won stage 1 and stage 2 swept both of those. He ended up not finishing in the top 3. So right now, Lucky Dog, the one thing he's got to keep in his mind, what pattern is he going to be following during this race? Is he going to be able to save enough and join NNR Bowling and sweeping the race? Or is he going to join our Xfinity driver, in which you go from sweeping the stages to finishing outside the top 3? A big question mark is still left on this race about who can pull off the right strategy and be there in the right time to try to go and win this race here in Phoenix.
Absolutely, yeah. Bowling, he was able to get it done in the trucks. He swept all 3, got the W. He also had to maintain that right rear and got a little lucky. Even he said it. But like you mentioned last night, PTH the GOAT in that number 4, he was bad fast. Swept stage 1, swept stage 2. But because he pushed it in stage 3, he ended up having to pit with like 2 or 3 laps to go. The 9 car of Q-Dog able to maintain and stayed outside the top 5, didn't push his tires the entire 3rd stage. He went on to win, and that the tweet that he sent out about it being time to go earlier that day, he waited until it was time to go. He was able to get that W. So yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see if the 37, the 42, the 2, the 48, the 9, and all these other guys behind the 13, if they can, let Lucky go. Let him wear it out. But Lucky's a smart driver too, expert. On the other side of that coin, he knows how to manage a gap. He knows how to manage his resources. He is the season 2 Pro League champion. So obviously he's pretty good at managing a race as well.
You're exactly right. And talking about a guy who can manage their stuff at just the same, if not better, the guy making a move for P number 2 right here, the 42 CGMX Rose. He's looking to the inside of the 37, trying to look for a position. 37 clobbers the wall, and he's going to lose more than just a second. He's going to fall outside of the top 3. As here comes Stout Whiskey looking for P number 3. He's going to get it off of turn 4.
Yeah, Stout Whiskey in that PPG deuce. He's going to go ahead and take P number 3, 37 Lucky. He only lost 1 spot. Now he's got the 48 of the Aviator and the 9 of a More Smoke right in his rear view. But man, so far this 13, he's just trying to just flat check out. 41 to Dan the Lawn Man. He's going to wrap up this pack behind the 13. Everybody trailing to 42 as Rose goes on up. Might have got a little too overzealous and tagged that outside wall. That's going to allow the 2-car Stout Whiskey to pull up to his outside. If he didn't get too much damage, he should be okay. But Stout looking pretty strong outside, keeping it off the wall. A little bit of a side draft to Rose. Will he be able to complete the pass? Coming off of turn 4, getting back to the start stripe, running P3. This is the battle for second.
In this 4-car battle for second, the 37 still here. The 48 behind them just by a little bit. You can see the different lines these guys are using to try to make that move. Now the 2's going to try to take the preferred line away from the 42. Looking to the inside now, side by side down the back straightaway.
Yeah, side by side down the backstretch. 42 looks like he's going to be able to get back in the throttle just a little bit sooner than the 2. I really thought when the 2 Stout Whiskey saw the 42 going higher to the outside, he might have come up just a little bit to kind of keep him pinched, and at the same time that would have allowed the 2 to get back in the throttle a little bit sooner as well. So the 42, he's going to be able to get right back to where he was. Meanwhile, battle for P number 3, 48 of the Aviator, getting all 4 tires underneath that yellow line to the inside of the 37 of Honestly You're Bad. 9 car of a more smoke. He's going to try to follow the 48. The 41's going to try to follow that 9. Still a great battle for P3 and beyond. Tell you what, let's get actually back up to that hood of the 42 of CJMX Rose. Actually, it looks like the 18 of Rowdy might have just had an issue. Not sure if that was the 12 or the 21 that got collected going down pit road or what the issue was right there. But all kinds of damage on the front end of that 18 M&M's Camry. But looking for that 42, maybe take okay. So that was actually the 12 of Knights going down pit road. But we're gonna catch back up with this 42. Take a couple laps around with him as he comes on down the backstretch, heading towards turns 3 and 4. Once he gets to that start stripe, we're gonna take a couple laps, let y'all out there crank it up. So when he gets to the line, count him 2 laps for this 42. Go ahead, turn it all up. Two full laps all the way around Phoenix International Raceway with the 42 of CJMX Rose. Has the 2-car Stout Whiskey filling up his rear view, but he's still got all kinds of time to try to make up to catch up to that 13. Expert gotta kind of wonder, once the 42 gets into his window where he knows he can make it on tires, knows he can make it on fuel, does he come on down and try to make up this gap between himself and the 13? Try to pull a little bit of a strategy, or do you think he just stays out, hopes for that caution to where we get stacked back up? But clearly the 13 Lucky Dog has some kind of an advantage. I mean, yeah, he's a great racer, gets all kinds of seat time with both setups and presets, but man, the man's just bad fast. And it looks like or sounds like we might have lost old Expert. Yep.
I think I got it back. Am I back?
You are back. Yep, I got you, sir. Absolute Zero says,
right.
This might as well be magic to me. I'm so bad at Phoenix, I just can't get this track figured out. Well, you know what, Absolute Zero, I'm right there with you. You can really roll out and carry a lot of speed through the corners here if you choose the right preset or if you've got the right setup under you all the way around this place. You do need to use a little bit of brake, which is where I just flat failed. But man, thanks for coming out. Definitely appreciate it. This is NNR, home of the best preset league on Xbox. Glad you're here with us, man.
And right here, looking with about 35 laps to go, these guys are going to be entering that pit cycle very, very soon. I'd say with about, like I said before, about 34 laps to go, I think that cycle will open up for these guys to start coming in. So about this time by or maybe if I'm a gambling guy, if I'm one of these guys out here, I'm not gonna pit till about 30 to go. That guarantees that you get a little bit fresher tires than what you're used to. You can really push it if you're in a pack of guys that you believe that you can try to outrun. That can allow you to push. You have that little bit of leeway of what you can and cannot do. I think lap 28 to lap 30, around in there, that's where we're going to be looking to see these guys try to go and pit in that 30 to go to 28 to go margin, because you have so much leeway there for what you can do with your vehicle as we head toward the end of the race.
You know what? We're in stage 3. Normally by now you've gone ahead and put your Larry Mack cap on. Got a little bit of that feedback again, but Absolute Zero out there in chat saying, I just can't find front end grip here at Phoenix. Lose too much time from the middle out. With your Larry Mack cap on, what would you suggest for Absolute Zero out there to try to find more grip around Phoenix?
Well, the one thing you want to do is to be able, in my opinion, what I would do with my setup is that if you lose so much time middle out, you lose your front end grip and you start sliding up to the wall. The one thing you want to do is you want to get more downforce into the car and you want to loosen it up. If I'm you, man, I'm going to add a piece of tape on there to where I'm not burning up, but to where I can add a little bit more downforce, get a little more acceleration speed off the corner. And then if depending on what you want to work with your tire pressures or whatnot, I'll either drop the left front a little bit more just to make sure it's not as tight off exit, which will help you middle off, or I'm going to drop the wedge a little bit, which will help you all around in the corner, depending on what you want to do. So those are your options from my perspective of what you can do to fix that problem. Let me know if you need any help. And of course, I know the setup man out there who loves racing around all these short tracks, Volsfan88, he's also a big guy with setups around tracks like this. Go ahead and hit him up if you need any more advice, but that's going to be my Larry Mack cap advice for you. And for my Larry Mack cap pick, it's already after stage 2. I'm kind of slacking here on the guy that I'm picking. I'm keeping my eye on that 42 CGMX Rose. He's always been the long run guy, despite how that 13's been running. I have a feeling we're going to get a late race caution. We know how aggressive Rose can be at times. I can see him going up there and trying to race that 13 really hard, especially if we get a caution, and expect for him to be that guy that can try to run down that 13.
Well, I'll tell you what, while we're talking about setups and helping out Absolute Zero, all the leaders so far have come on down pit road. The 21 came on down, the 42 CJMX Rose, he came on down before the 13 of Lucky Dog. And man, it's building and building. 48 really tried to cook it coming into the pits, trying to make up as much time as he could entering. You can gain and lose so much time on pit road, but when you want to be aggressive getting to the line, but if you cook it too far past, or if you come across that line sliding your way in, man, if you've got them locked up coming across that commitment line, the game takes it as though you were speeding. There goes your possibly 14 second or 14 and a half second stop, and all of a sudden you're looking at 30 seconds just waiting on that official standing in front of you, just holding it and holding it and holding it. Meanwhile, the guys out there are just clicking them off. And I gotta agree with Coey out there. This has got to be one of the best top 5 races of the season. Such great battles going on and tight, clean racing. I thought about that too when I saw a couple of guys side by side, lap after lap, really taking care of each other the way that it should be. Just like after we saw after the green flag pit stop in stage number 2, Expert, a lot of distance between drivers. Have to see who's going to be able to run down who with what do we got here as the 48 comes across the line. 26 laps remaining in the opening race of the playoffs.
And breaking news already, we've already lost a few guys on pit road and off of either lag or these guys just backing out. But we have officially now lost the 37 of Honestly You're Bad and the 18 of NNR Rowdy. Both of these guys are now out of this race and have taken it to the garage. So 2 great competitors in this race. going to be out, and that's going to allow some of these guys to make up a little bit more on points.
Yeah, Fort Smitty's out as well, and I think I saw the 12 car of Knights also parked on pit road. So we started this race with between 15 and 20 cars out here on track. Definitely lost a few, but man, yeah, Rowdy, he is the one and only 3-time champion here in NNR. In a single season, he won the Truck, Xfinity, and Cup Series championships. I think it was actually the inaugural season, and that is actually the reason that, and I know I've mentioned this before, that is the one sole reason why nobody can run all 3 series. That rule was put in place because of him. But we're going to keep on going through. We're going to try to catch back up with the 13, the 42, the 9, the 48, the 2, and everybody else that's been up front all race long. And we'll also keep an eye out for those battles. Yeah, there is the 12 of Knights sitting on pit road. There's the 22 of J-Pod. Look, I think he might have just got lapped by the 13 of Lucky Dog. Either that or there's still one car out there. Right now, CGMX Rose showing P2. Stout Whiskey 3rd. Aviator 4th. The More Smoke in 5th. Dan the Lawn Man in 6th. 22 laps remaining.
And you talked about the double deuce of J-Paw. Actually, the incident that has caused him now, this is him going 1 lap down. Him and the 37 of, honestly, and I'll use your word now, I actually like that little jingle. Honestly, you're fast. Him and J-Paw made contact in which I don't know what eventually led, but honestly had to either back out or might have lagged out. And J-Paw was the victim of some unfortunate and definitely unintentional contact that got him into the outside wall. So a tough break for that 22, but still with about 20 laps to go, anything can happen. He's still sitting in the lucky dog position.
I'll tell you where, he is absolutely in that lucky dog as he continues to ride behind the 13. 38 of Fatless Dig, saw him coming on down pit road. Now you just see him parked on pit road. So Fatless Dig kind of gave up the goat and said, you know what, I don't quite have a horse for this fight. No, very unfortunate for the 38. Sorry to see him leave, but there is that 2 driver for P3 right now. All kinds of time between himself and the 42 CGMX Rose. Behind him, you see the 48. Behind the 48, you see the 9. Behind the 9, you see the 41. So that continues to be your top 6, even after that green flag pit stop. Everybody's pretty much got what they got now. I can tell you that the 48, he's got 27 laps of fuel, and as he just now came across the start stripe, only 18 laps left in the race, and he's got about 70% left on that right rear. Everybody, again, should be good to go to the end.
And you're exactly right. These guys all looking to try to make it to the end now. There's no more needed pit stops. Of course, if a caution were to come out, I feel like some of these guys might take the risk of staying out, but I would expect a lot of guys to go in as well. So the idea that a caution may still come out is still present. We still have a long way to go. There's a lot of guys who could get involved in an incident, especially with all the hard racing going on. It's been clean up to this point, but of course that we know in racing that anything can happen at any given moment. So we're just standing by and waiting for it. Looking at probably what, in my opinion, is one of the most important battles on the racetrack right now, the 48 and the 9 going at it. That's the Aviator and a More Smoke. A little bit of contact with these guys side by side down the back straightaway. Now diving it in to 3 and 4. That 9's going to try to take the apron line to gain a little bit more momentum, but that 48's going to get the run off the corner. Now the 9 using the dog leg to try to hinder his momentum. Now side by side into turn number 1. Here we go off of 2. That 9 looking to clear him, but that 48's going to hold him down there and try to get the run off the corner. Now on the backstretch, once again, the 9 trying to side draft, but the 48's going to clear him. And here we go. That 9's going to have to get reset. Gives him a little bit of a tap in the corner. It's going to send him up off of exit. And that 9's going to reset once again. Still side by side.
Yeah, still side by side. These guys are great competitors on the track. They're good friends off the track as well. I tell you what, they've done, look at these guys side by side, completely clean, kind of like what Coey was talking about, how they're absolutely taking care of each other. Whoever wins this championship, they're going to look back at these races. You know, all these races are saved on YouTube under the same name, Repeat 1975. If you want to go back and watch any race you want, from the very first race that I broadcast with the one and only HD Motorsports all the way up to tonight, it's all there. And these guys put on one hell of a show each and every week in all 3 seasons. Not just here in the Cup Series where some of the biggest names on Xbox drive, but all throughout. Whether it's Cup, Xfinity, or Truck, it's all right there. Go to youtube.com, search Repeat 1975. You can go back for years. One thing we don't have a whole lot of time, though, for tonight is, we don't have a whole lot of time left in this race. 12 very, very short laps. The battle that the 9 and the 48 have had has kind of subsided for now. We were watching the battle between the 47 and the 16. It looks like the 16 of Trippy has won that battle for now with the 47 of Augustus. And just in front of those two, you see the 21 of Parsville. He's got those guys in his rear view. 47 has a little bit of damage on the front end of that Kroger Camaro. But man, like you said earlier, every single point matters now. We are down to the final 6, the championship round. I mean, there's no actual chase, but the points have been reset. I showed everybody the points just a little bit ago. We'll show them again at the end of the broadcast. Before, maybe I'll actually put that screen up while we're getting everybody into the booth. But man, what a great battle it's been all week, with the trucks knocking it out, and Bowling taking that win. Last night with Q-Dog getting his win here. And of course, tonight it looks like it's going to be the 13, but hey man, anything could happen. Speaking of the 13, there is that Geico Camaro all the way down below that yellow line, cutting the dog leg. 42 CJMX Rose way in the back. It looks like he's got the 22 of J-Pa. J-Pa right now still the first car, 1 lap down. 13 hasn't lapped anybody else since. You can see 1 car off in the distance, but I don't think he's got enough time to catch him. So if a caution should come out and it brings us under 10 laps to go, man, anything could happen, and I can almost guarantee you bumpers will be flying.
You're exactly right. And now he just hit 7 laps to go, so we're nearing that vital point of 5 laps to go. I feel like that's when everybody is going to go crazy for positions. 5 laps to go is that marker for me, especially at this track. We have a pack of 3 guys together, being the 16 of Tripp, the 47 of Augustus, and the 21 of Parzival. These guys can all get together. We know how aggressive these guys can be at times. Watch for these guys. These guys could be that battle that could cause a caution. But of course, we know that 13 is hoping and praying that that does not happen. The 42 behind him, though, he's praying that it does, as he wants a shot. I know myself that he wants a shot to go up there and try to race that 13. These guys have been trading wins back and forth, and I know he doesn't want that 13 to gain an advantage on him going into the playoffs.
No, not at all. I mean, right now the 42, he still has the advantage. He's got, I think it's like 24 points over Lucky Dog. Obviously, Lucky Dog winning both stages, and more than likely, unless we see a caution, he's going to win the race tonight as well. So it'll be a great overall start for him. But if Lucky Dog finishes second for these next 6 races, I still don't think that that CGMX Rose can be caught. We'll have to see. I mean, the battle is going to be fierce all the way to the end. If they finish 1-2, in any of those orders, whether CGMX Rose finishes first, Lucky Dog finishes second, depending on what they get in those stages, that could ultimately be what it really all comes down to. And as Stout Whiskey comes off of turn 4 across the start stripe, 3 laps remaining. So right now, keeping an eye on the 9 of a More Smoke. He's got the 48 of the Aviator. This is a battle for P4. Aviator has it. A More Smoke, of course, he wants it. That's your top 5. So right now, you've got Lucky Dog. You've got CGMX Rose. You've got Stout Whiskey in that 2, sitting in P number 3. You've got the 48 of the Aviator sitting P4. And this driver right here, the one and only A More Smoke, in P number 5.
And right here, rounding 1 and 2, heading down the back straightaway. I'm back focused here on that 13. He's going to come around in 3 and 4, and this time it's going to be White Flag, sponsored by Raise Energy. That 13 knows he only has 4 more corners to take perfectly, and he will notch a win here in the playoffs here at Phoenix. He's going to back off a little bit, not running full pace. You don't want to spin out, don't want to hit the wall, don't want to make a mistake. Rounding turns 3 and 4. And off of 4, that 13, he's going to win the first race of the playoffs. Lucky Dog 385, your winner here at Phoenix.
Lucky Dog is going to go ahead and grab the W. 42 CGMX Rose is going to finish 2nd. Stout Whiskey 3rd. Aviator 4th. The More Smoke P5. Dan the Lawman in that 41 P6. Boehner, good rebound for him, back to 7th. And then I believe it was, nope, wasn't Parzival. Waiting to see if he scrolls back up again. I can tell you Trippy is in 9th. Augustus is in 10th. So great job by everybody. Definitely appreciate everybody that came out, hung out, chatted up, kept me company. Appreciate the bits. Appreciate all the gifted subs. But man, what a performance by driver 13, Lucky Dog 385, to grab win number 1 in this 6-race playoff round. It's going to be Watkins Glen next week. Guys and gals, please keep it right here. We're going to gather everybody up to the booth as soon as the 13's done with his burnouts. We're going to knock it out of the park. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. Definitely appreciate everybody keeping it right here. Oh, just about 15 of you. We've had the best stream as far as the people that I follow. So, man, definitely glad y'all kept it right here. We've got driver 2, Old Stout Whiskey, bringing it home P number 3 in that PPG Ford Mustang. Stout, you were battling it out with the Aviator, with the More Smoke, with CGMX Rose, with the 13 at times as well. It's going to be a great top 3. I believe you opened up P3 in the points when everything reset, so you should be kind of like status quo here, depending on where you finished in stages 1 and 2. You really seem to be able to handle yourself and maintain your tires throughout all three stages tonight. Talk to us about your run, what you had to do in order to make that right rear last, and then what this top three is going to do catapulting you forward to the Glen next week.
Pete, I had a really good car, man. I started 7th and actually got front end damage before we came back around to lap 2. Car dove in front of Boehner, and then they hit the apron or something and slowed up, and I got front end damage. But fell back to 12th and was able to drive our way up to 4th, and finished behind Aviator and Rose and Dan, our lucky dog in that first stage. Honestly, if that doesn't happen, who knows? It's who knows what could have happened. But I really thought or felt like I had a chance to win that stage. Battled out there with Honestly You're Bad, finished 4th in the second stage, and then just got the car dialed in and was able to bring it home 3rd. I just started 2nd or 3rd row every time, never got clean air. It felt good. I actually gained time on Lucky Dog there in that last stage. Rose and I were pretty close. He was definitely better than me the last 8 or 9 laps of the run, though, and he could pull me. So, to bring it home 3rd, I'd lie to you if, I'm racing for 3rd place in the points. Lucky and Rose are excellent racers, and I was actually joking around in the party, and my goal is to be the top G920 every week, racing against those Mercedes on those Fanatec's. So, was able to do that, man. Had a good race, didn't have any incidents with anyone. It's what we need in the first race, especially headed to Watkins Glen next week.
Now, Stout, I got to ask you, because you are one of the biggest fans of taking care of your competition, you won't wreck somebody for the win. But knowing how strong Lucky Dog was tonight, if that caution had come out, say 10 laps ago, kind of like what we were talking about in the stream between Expert and I, if that happened, would you have maybe kind of let it run a little bit into turns 1 and 2, push the 13 up track, try to gain some time on it? Obviously not wreck them, just maybe rattle the cage, move them up just a little bit to try to get that? Or would you have hit your braking points, hit your marks all the way around, and just let it be?
Lucky Dog and I've had we've had some run-ins. We had some run-ins 4 out of 6 weeks and different leagues, but no, I have nothing but respect for him. If he would have got anything from me, he knows what it would have been. It would have been a square shot in the bumper, and then I would have tried to race him out of the corner and pass him. We had an incident like that at Richmond over in East Park. Restarted 2nd, and he was 1st. I think it was stage 2, and just drove in the corner and gave him a square bump. And that's how I race, man. This is a video game, and I try to have fun and respect my competitors. Honestly, Pete,
by the way.
Yes, you did. You beat me. I was inside. And, hey, I didn't come up into you, did I?
No, that was
fair and square. That's how it's supposed to be.
That was perfect racing. Yeah, it was fun.
There you go.
Pete, it's just I feel like a lot of times I don't get raced the way that I race, which is unfortunate. But that's the nature of the beast, and no matter what, man, I can lay down at night and sleep.
Absolutely. Yeah. You started off with, in this race, 34 points behind Rose and just 10 behind Lucky Dog. So you started third place in the points tonight. More than likely you'll finish 3rd. Both you and Amore Smoke had the same deficit up to P number 1. But man, congratulations. I know old JPod, hashtag JPod Militia, Dan the Lawman, and all those other guys that run in Xfinity and around you during other parts of the week. Any big shout outs from the Deuce tonight?
Yeah, man, got to give you an Expert. You got to sacrifice your times. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday nights, man. I'm very appreciative, and I mean that, and I know I mean that, and I got to thank everybody that tunes in. It's pretty cool to go back and watch this and see so many people that pull for me in the broadcast. I think part of it is, I don't know if it's personality or just appreciate the way I race or what it is. So thanks to everybody that tunes in and watches Pete's streams. Shout out to my dad. I know he's checking out the house. He's watching it. Love you, Dad. Love you, Mom. So and hats off to Rose and Lucky Dog. They're fantastic racers that do a good job each week, and they deserve 2nd and 1st.
There you go. Congrats one more time on that bottom step of the podium, as the one and only Rick James would say. Congrats one more time, Stout.
Thank you, Pete.
You got it, sir. All right, expert. You've got driver 42, driver of the Credit One Bank Camaro, Mr. CDMX Rose.
Yes, sir, I do. Mr. Rose, do you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. You were able to come away P2. You had a lot of great battles here tonight. What was the one thing that kept you from catching that 13 and getting the first one in the playoffs?
I mean, I felt like I was close, just a little bit off of what Dan was running in terms of lap times, but I lost a lot of time on those restarts, just not being able to, taking a while to get up to second and then to be able to try and reel him in, which cost me a lot of time, and in the end was one of the major factors in not being able to catch him. But solid start. He gained a little bit on the points, I feel like, but we'll try to do better at Watkins Glen.
Definitely. And talking about moving on to Watkins Glen, still a long way from the championship, but Lucky Dog with this win, he's going to close in a little bit on points. How do you plan to attempt to hold him off as we go through the rest of the playoffs with y'all two consistently battling through the regular season and now bringing that into the playoffs as well?
Well, finishing up front in stages and getting race wins just like he was able to get one today, we got to be able to do the same thing. And I feel like if we aren't able to do that, then he's probably going to be able to close the gap significantly. So that's definitely something that we got to do.
All right, man. Well, of course, great job getting P2 and can't wait to see you moving forward in your championship hunt. Any shout outs for you tonight?
Yeah, shout out to Stout for stepping in and running the show tonight. You guys up in the booth. Dan for just putting on a clinic on us today, and everybody for a green flag race.
All right. Well, once again, congratulations. And Pete, I think you have Lucky Dog up there in victory lane.
I tell you what, Lucky Dog, it seems like he's got an almost, just like, what was it, 2 years ago, we used to joke around about more smoke and all the wins he had, just dusting off the seat between me and HD almost weekly, because that's where a more smoke would come up and set. Lucky Dog, you're having that kind of a season, man. You joined up a little bit later. You went from part-time to full-time about the same time that the 48 of the Aviator did, and you just put on a clinic tonight. You've got something special built inside that wheel. Plus, you get a lot of seat time, too. It's not just here in NNR that you run, but you run in other leagues as well, both with setups and presets. What was it about Phoenix that really suited your driving style, and what kind of changes did you make to that Geico Camaro to really get up front and stay up front?
Well, Pete, honestly, it's great to be talking with you again. It's been a while since we last spoke in an interview, so good to be talking with you. To answer your question, I have no idea, because to be honest, I don't see this as, I say it all the time, but this track is a track that I've always wanted to improve at and just steadily make, nuances and adjustments to how I drive and just how I'm approaching the race, and just whether it's, racing line or, racecraft, all of the above, or setups. This one particularly, I can't say that word, especially on presets, there we go, has always been a little iffy for me. I raced SXRL way back when, technically 2020. It's been a long time, and I was running I was running all those presets, and I just can never get the grip that I needed to really rotate and all that. So I made some adjustments, changed the way I drove, and I did some laps before the race just because I knew, it's the playoffs. You got to really make sure you're prepared because this is leading up to the championship, and just really wanted to make sure that I was strong, and I just wanted to keep winning races. And last week I couldn't show up, unfortunately, because something in the telephone pole, we lost power, which is unfortunate. It wasn't as bad because it wasn't a playoff race, but it really was a bummer to not be racing in the NNR Racing League, one of the best leagues on Xbox. So I was really sad about that. But, I'm glad it didn't happen this week because we really were strong. I was not expecting the performance we had tonight. It was just, I was really, really happy about that. I definitely could do some improvements on the driving side and, maybe some setup changes to try to tailor towards my style. But I mean, overall, really happy. Pole stages, both stages in the win and the fastest lap and most laps led. So he it was really good. It was really good, Pete.
Yeah, you absolutely showed up tonight. The entire top three. I mean, hell, even up to the top six. Coey was out there in chat, really giving you guys all kinds of kudos on all throughout the field. Most people that ended up side by side did so sometimes with less than a foot apart, and really keeping it green, keeping it clean. No real beating and banging and rubbing. It was a phenomenal race all the way through. It kind of felt good to see that, to where everybody's actually taking care of each other the way that it should be, and Stout Whiskey would actually back me up on that. But man, phenomenal race. This is going to be a great jumping off for you into this 6-race postseason. We've seen you at road courses. I believe in the second season of the Pro League, at the very first road course that was run. I mean, you ended up like 19 seconds over P2. Phenomenal finish there. What are you looking forward to at the Glen, and do you think you've got to do any kind of work there, or are you going into next week already confident?
I think we'll have a strong pace, but I've raced there before the rows and on presets, and he's always very good at the road courses. I say he's even better than me at road courses, especially on Watkins Glen. That's probably it's a strong track for me, but maybe on the weaker end on the road course spectrum, or the road course table, or whatever you want to call it, all the road course on the schedule. So I think I definitely have work to do. It's not going to be easy. I have to make the right adjustments to make sure that I have good front end grip, because this track, you need grip. You got so many fast corners. You got the the S's, you got the bus stop, which is a very important section of the track, and then right after that, the carousel, and every corner on this track. We have 7 corners, which is pretty. It's not a lot, probably the least amount that we have on the road course part of the schedule, but it's super. Sorry, I said that very weird. It's super important to make sure that you have optimal grip at every single end of the track. It's not like the Roval or I'm trying to think of Road America, where you got nearly 20 corners. You can maybe give away a little bit in 1 or 2 corners, but here we have 7, I would say, relatively medium speed corners where you need a lot of grip. So I'm going to have to make sure that I prepare correctly and efficiently to make sure that we'll have strong pace like we had tonight, and try to get ourselves 2nd win in a row and our 9th win of the season. And also, like you said, yeah, the racing was great tonight. This track is really fun to race at. Had a lot of fun, and next week will be really fun too. You're going to see a lot of great racing. It's a pretty racy track, so looking forward to it.
No doubt, and I'm sure the same rules that we had earlier in the season will apply, where you've got to have at least 2 tires on the track at all times. Absolutely looking forward to that. Congratulations one more time on the W. Any quick shout-outs for you, Lucky?
I got shout-outs, man. Every week, man, I got shout-outs. Everyone who's been supporting me throughout the whole esports journey. It's crazy how sim racing has evolved over these past few years, and sim racing on NASCAR Heat, and how that's taken a massive swing in the right direction. So to be where I'm at right now, racing against some competitive drivers like Rose and Stout, Eli Amore, and Jay Paul. He had a rough race. It's always fun racing him. Just everyone who's makes these races enjoyable. I really just thank you. Gotta say big thank you to Pete and Expert for doing the awesome commentary every week. You guys do a fantastic job. They're playing Among Us in the party right now. I can see they put the code up. That's pretty funny. My mom and my dad for being great supporters throughout this whole journey, this whole experience, and all my friends who I raced with on here. Everyone who's Red and Scout throughout the Pro League, and just everyone who's just had my back along the way. It's pretty crazy. So and also made it into another college today, so I'm really happy about that. Now I just need to hear back from one more and start to finalize some decisions, which is going to be very stressful, let me tell you. So yeah, I'm happy. Thank you, Pete, for the interview. Yeah, woohoo.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Stout or Mr. Coey, I saw you unmute. Any final words on what you saw tonight, both firsthand, as well as the stream, and I know you placed a comment in chat that you were happy about the quality of the racing we saw here at Phoenix. What do you think from an owner's perspective?
Well, yeah, looks like I said in the chat about it being a good race. Forget me to say something like you would say with a certain word at one time. To me, that was some good shit. That was exciting to watch. When you're usually just sitting here watching the races and you're seeing the cautions or the issues or whatever. I mean, it was a clean race. It was great side-by-side racing. It was actually enjoyable for someone just watching and monitoring what's going on the track. Was actually exciting to watch. I had Aviator up, Stout up, yours up, so I was getting perspectives from all around the track, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to broadcast. Expert buddy, man, you've been my partner in crime now pretty much every day for the last few weeks. We're keeping up with these truck guys, these Xfinity guys, and of course, the Cup guys. We saw Bowling get it done. We saw Q-Dog get it done, and now, of course, Lucky Dog here in the Cup Series. So week one of this 6-week stretch is in the books. Any final thoughts on the week, sir?
It was just great racing overall. The Cup guys showed out. The Xfinity guys showed out as usual. And the truck guys gave us some exciting action as well. To start out with a short track like Phoenix, it was just awesome to see all the action this weekend. And you know what? I can't wait to go road course racing next week as we head up to New York at Watkins Glen. These guys are going to tackle that road course, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. If you thought Phoenix was a track you didn't want to miss, I guarantee you Watkins Glen ain't going to be one either.
Yeah, absolutely. Watkins Glen probably been one of my favorite tracks all the way around, and you're going to kind of get a little bit of a double dose, I should say, of Watkins Glen. Next Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night, it's going to be all about the Glen right here on Xbox. But also over on the iRacing side, the NNR iRacing series, the truck series, is going to be at the Glen as well. I haven't turned a single lap there in my number 8 Silverado, so it's going to be interesting. Those guys over at Rays, they're going to have to take it easy on me and not expect too good of a show. From what Rowdy was telling me earlier, the track's really bumpy, completely different than what we've seen here on Heat. But then again, as we've been telling people as they move from Xbox over to that platform, forget everything that you've ever learned about any of the Heat races. None applies whatsoever. Guys and gals, big thank you one more time for coming out, hanging out, chatting up, keeping us company. Vols, buddy, old pal, thank you very much for the bits and also for the gifted subs. Want to say a big old welcome to K9 Media as well as Absolute Zero for coming out, hitting that follow button. We hope to see you in future editions of these NNR races. Again, whether it's on the Xbox side, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, or on the iRacing side on Monday afternoons, we definitely appreciate your company. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you again soon. Take it easy.